All right, so this is gonna be the groin rocker. It's our next mobility drill. So what we're trying to do, have a mat for the knee. We don't want any extra pressure, but we're trying to passively open up this groin and this hamstring by actively flexing this glute to push us into the stretch and then using this groin to pull us out of it. So this hip socket is actively working to manipulate this one to get open more and more, okay? But the real challenge is actually getting our hip firing in big positions. So the deeper she can go into that groin rocker, the more we're making this groin work in this open position. Okay, so the high hamstring injuries or things that are really uptight, this is an easy way to add a little bit of load and push yourself into some extremes you wouldn't otherwise be able to get into. So what we want to play with this is, even though this is passively being stretched, we still want to make sure the knee is tracking out. So we're going to push that knee out towards the pinky toes just to get more pull open on the adductors. Yeah, to the best of our ability, we don't want it to track in. What a nice hip pop. We don't want it to track in. Very good. Nice. If we wanted to add a small progression to this or give it some resistance, we would just wrap a band around the waist, have it anchored to something far out here so that your glute is pushing you into the resistance. So you get the glute to fire a little bit more. If we want the groin to fire a little bit more, then we would anchor the band on this side so that the groin has to pull you back against that resistance. So you can play around with those progressions as needed as you get through the mobility and get your hips opened up more. These are the banded progressions for the groin rocker. Notice we have the band anchored so that the glute has to push into the resistance. And we just want to make sure that when she gives into the band, or you're giving into the band, that your knee gets really close to midline, so that ground leg. That's going to emphasize just how much more that hip can push into the resistance. And then when we switch the band to anchor you on the other side, you're going to exaggerate getting into midline with that groin activation, so you can feel the extremes of the groin and the glute pushing you into this active stretch.